Um, hmm. I'm back. Are we in the same chat or are we in a different one now? Wait a minute.
All right. Default mic is back. All right. Take two. There we go. The joys of
Should
doing a
I?
live TV show.
That is the pleasure of doing a live show. You never would know what's going to happen.
Wait, what
Yeah.
happened to you now? Now your audio sounds weird.
I I sound fine to me.
All
You
right.
sound fine.
Okay.
What's going on? Should I exit this YouTube and start again?
No.
Is there a new one?
There and back again, a YouTube live stream tale. Yeah, I'll take that. Anyway, I think my GPU froze. I think I overheated my GPU using my AI voice,
Oh
and
gosh, you did not. That's
that
funny.
that's what happened. And when the GPU crashed, so did OBS and everything else. Anyway, all right. So we got a crew jacket, and we also have a crew um, white hoodie. That's nice. Um, this
Okay, we
is
are back.
this is $884 on eBay right now. If you search for Rings of Power, um, there's embroidered on the back. Ent crew, ENT is yellow again. Um, I don't know if I would spend $184 on this hoodie, but I would spend $180 on this puffer jacket.
Is
Uh,
this?
I
Oh, okay. This is British. So the conversion of 138 uh, pounds sterling
is
is
$180.
good
That
gravy.
so
Wow.
there is some official Lord of the Rings merch on eBay that I was looking at, but Cliff, we should get
Hello.
into what we wanted to talk about today, which is a huge, big announcement, exclusive announcement. I think the press release drops tomorrow, but
Oh, really?
Nerdist got a hold of it early, and they published it early. Fan Expo announces a Lord of the Rings cast reunion anniversary tour in 2026.
Oh, that's going to be very big news. This is going to rock the world.
Cliff,
This is
this
going to
is
totally rock.
2026 is the 25th anniversary of the release of Fellowship of the Ring. It is the 25th anniversary in
Yes.
next December of Fellowship of
Yes.
the Ring. So Fan Expo has announced is announcing the Lord of the Rings cast reunion. According to the press release, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, and Elijah Wood are guaranteed to reunite and spread the joy in an evening with the hobbits.
Oh my goodness, this is great.
It is billed as more than a reunion and so much more than a panel. It will have storytelling, a variety show, and so
Wow.
much more. Each city they appear in, they will deliver the greatness for 2 nights. 2 nights.
Wow.
Behind the
Wow.
scenes memories, inside jokes, and more will make it feel like a feast of joy. Cliff, this is more than just a geek panel that they've been doing
This
over
is
the last few years.
wow.
The boys, it is my understanding, uh, based on some inside info, that these guys have been working on new material for a proper variety show atmosphere.
Really? A
Yes,
variety show. You
yes.
mean kind of like when Kermit and Fozzie would get the whole gang together with Piggy and put on a musical variety show? Do you mean like on that level? I cannot wait for this. I am mind blown. I can't believe somebody didn't call and talk to me about this ahead of time and say, "Oh, Clifford, we're going to need a stage manager. We're going to need an announcer. We're going to need an
Well,
MC.
it's not too
I'm
late.
ready.
I'm not.
I'm ready to be the master of ceremonies for this amazing show." I'm so ready.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, this is huge,
yes,
Cliff, because like the difference between like a typical fan panel, which is a Q&A, and more of a
yes,
variety show. These guys
yes,
are entertainers, and they just want to connect with fans and entertain. This sounds so cool. Ellen Moncrusos in the chat room says that will be so awesome. And Ellen works in the industry, so if she's excited, everyone should be super excited because this is huge news. I think everybody watching the show should tag and tweet at Fan Expo on Instagram and X and wherever to and tag QuickBeam 2000 and tell them to
yes,
hire Clifford Broadway to
yes,
MC this
please.
show.
I am so ready. Please. Oh my God. Whose toes do I have to suck in this town to get a gig? I would love to be the master of ceremonies.
You know whose
I
toes
mean,
you need to suck? Kermit the Frog here.
Kermit, uh, it's time to meet the hobbits on the Hobbit show tonight. I'm
It's
excited
time to meet
because
the hobbits. It's time to have some fun. It's time to get together for some hobby more fun. I don't know.
that's not how it works. It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show
The
tonight.
Hobbit show tonight.
The
The
Hobbit
Hobbit
Show
show
tonight.
tonight. Yeah, sound set. Jordan Rennell's just joined the chat. Cliff was just
Hey,
talking about
Jordan.
you and your sensual soundscapes, and we're here to announce
Amazing.
that the
Jordan, I love you so
Expo
much. You're the best, Jordan. You are the
Fan
best.
Expo, this is
You are the best.
exclusive breaking news, announces a Lord of the Rings cast reunion anniversary tour next year. This is more than just a panel. It will have storytelling, a variety show, and so
Okay.
much more. And in each city, they're going to do this 2 nights in
This
each
is amazing.
city. 2 nights in each city. We don't know yet if it's going to be a separate ticketed event or if you just need to buy a ticket to Fan Expo and you get access to the Hobbit Variety Hour starring Billy and Dom and Sean, the president of Screen Actors Guild, Sean Astin, and of course,
Yes.
Elijah
Ellen,
Wood.
they need to hire a lighting designer, Ellen Monocrusos, the best theatrical lighting designer in the whole city of Angels. She's the best. Can't put on a stage show without having Ellen do your lighting design. Let's
Last
do it.
Win is
Okay,
getting ahead of me. They've
let's
announced
do
that
this.
these cities, starting in January 9th through 11th, they will be in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Nolans.
Would you love to be there in the big city? What's New Orleans' nickname? Um, the
The Big
big
Easy.
the Big Easy.
The Big Easy. Come on, we all know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Kitty is meowing. If you hear all that meowing in the background, it's because somebody is making a lot of noise. And here he is, ladies and
Well,
gentlemen, the man,
Cliff is just so
the man of the
excited
hour.
over this. So it
You know
starts
what? I
January
It
9th
starts
in
in a
New
few months.
Orleans,
It
and then
starts in a few months, okay? That means I better send them a note and send them my resume and get into work with them right away. I really want to be their MC. That when I was born and raised, I didn't know that I had it in me. I really didn't know that I had that instinct of holding an audience in the palm of my hand. And then when I got on stage at the young age of 5, what was I, 5, maybe 6 years old? And I'm professionally working on stage. And then I realized, oh, I've been so inspired by Kermit and his ability to do what? Hold the audience in the palm of his froggy little hand. And you're right. You're right in saying that, Justin. It's an absolute perfect connection. I've been inspired by Kermit. He is the ultimate MC of all MCs. No one in the world, no one does it better than Kermit. And I modeled myself after him. Subconsciously, I didn't realize it, but I did model my speaking, my abilities, my that energy, that joie de vivre. You bring that to the stage. People love it. They love you for it. And I literally want this job. I don't think there even is a position yet, but I'm going to ask them to create. Hey, please, guys. I know you're doing your own thing over there, but please create a new position for me to be your master of ceremonies. I
well,
would love that.
I'm asking
I would love
everybody
that.
watching this show to tag Fan Expo and QuickBeam 2000 on all the socials to tell Fan Expo that they
Okay.
need to hire Quick Beam 2000. But let's go through the dates. We've got
Yes.
Nolans, January 9th. The following
Wow.
weekend, they're going to be in Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
Uh,
lovely.
and for Valentine's Day weekend, they'll be in Vancouver, our friends to the north.
Oh, wow, Vancouver. I love it up
March
there. It's gorgeous.
19th, March 19th, they'll be in Orlando. Cliff, that's your home base, isn't it?
What? Did you say Chicago? What did you
Orlando.
say? Orlando? Well, yeah, I mean, I was born in, on the beach over there to the East Coast, Atlantic seaboard. I was born on the Florida coast, believe it or not, because my family were a NASA family. Everybody in my family worked at Cape Kennedy and, for the space shuttle missions. So, and other space programs way before that, when my grandma and my mom worked as administration. And my brother was the chief electrical engineer on the space shuttle missions. So yeah, there are three generations of my family working out of Cocoa Beach, the Titusville area. So, I'm one of those. I'm a child of the Space Coast. I'm a child of the space program, if nothing else. Believe me, that's where I'm from. So yeah, I'm a total Space Coast kind of guy.
And
Space
if you're keeping track,
Ghost.
I did not expect that today's episode would be so lore heavy on Cliff's past.
It
But
is.
from
Yeah,
Orlando,
I
they're going
know.
to
It's
go to
wild.
back up to Canada, Calgary Comic Con in April 23rd, Denver May 28th in Denver, and then they will be
Ooh,
in
Denver.
Fan Expo Philadelphia. They'll be in Fan Expo Boston, Fan Expo
Ooh.
Chicago,
Ooh, I
Fan
love
Expo
Chicago so much.
Canada, and Fan Expo Dallas, all the way through
Okay, I'm
September.
ready. I'm ready. So this is an all year long thing where they're just going to be running around to all these events throughout the calendar year. Wow.
That's
Okay, I
right.
better get my mileage card out so I can get some miles.
And it says right here, tickets for these fan expos will go on sale for each city next week, October 22nd at
Awesome.
10 a.m. local time. So
Awesome.
again,
Wow.
if you're if
During the 7th has family in Cape Canaveral. Yeah, I have family near the Canaveral National Seashore. Absolutely. Yes. It's really good stuff. Do you know what? This whole thing, the tickets are only available through FanX. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is part of
Okay, this is
Fan
their event.
Expo.
Okay.
They have a link here, but I don't think it's live yet. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's not live yet. So October
Right.
22nd, which is next week at 10 a.m. Tickets go on sale for Fan Expo in all these cities: New Orleans, Portland, Vancouver, Orlando, Calgary, Denver, Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, Canada, and Dallas.
Such an exciting itinerary. That's
And
quite
and this is
an
more than just a
itinerary, isn't it?
panel. This is all four hobbits creating a brand new variety show hour, and there will be two performances of the Hobbit variety show for at each city. 2 days, two performances, the Hobbit variety show hour. This is incredible news. These guys are entertainers to the end. They love the fans. They love Lord of the Rings,
Oh, I love
and
it. This is so
and
great.
of course that you'll be able to upgrade, buy some photo ops and some signatures and stuff. But honestly, the price of admission for Fan Expo just to go to the Hobbit Variety Hour, I'm in. I'm so in.
Me too. I can't miss out on this. Even if they don't hire me, I really cannot miss out on this. I see you, Soundscapes by Jordan Rennells. Jordan, I saw what you said a few minutes ago. We're going to get back to that because Justin has promised me a Miyazaki minute. So later on in the show, we're going to get to that. And I'm totally excited. I'm very excited. I can't wait to talk to you, Jordan, about that. Now, here's the thing. These little promises that they're making, can we assume, knowing what a creative powerhouse Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd really are when they're together, and the successful traveling shows they've done, and Dominic's Wild Things, his successful travel and wildlife exploration show, should we assume that those two guys are front and center in putting together the numbers, the musical numbers, the comedy, whatever they're doing for this variety show, Justin, my instincts are screaming at me that it's really Billy and Dom who are pulling the strings to make magic happen. What do you think? I really do think it's them.
Well, look.
I
Sean
do.
Astin is the newly voted in president of the Screen Actors Guild, and he's got a
Yes.
lot on his hands with
Yes, he's a very
the
busy man
the
now.
battle
Very
of
busy.
AI. Things are going to get crazy, I think, in the next
Yeah.
year. So Sean Astin is the president of SAG. He's a busy man. Again, these only happen on the weekends, so this is side hustles. Elijah Wood, of
Mm.
course, has announced that he's going to be in the new Hunt for Gollum movie, which starts allegedly filming in April. So
Oh
Elijah
gosh.
might be in New Zealand for a few weeks. Uh,
Oh gosh. That is wild. They're going to have to juggle the schedules of every appearance that they're contracted to, obligated to do for FanX,
well, they
and their
they
other
are because
obligations like that.
I
Yes.
see that there's no they have Fan Expo Denver in May, and then Fan Expo Chicago is in August. So June and July are no dates, which means and that June and July is when Hunt for Gollum really is in the middle of filming in New Zealand with Andy Serkis directing. So there's a 2 month
Mm,
window for Elijah to fly down to New Zealand, shoot all his scenes, and
yes.
then come back.
Fascinating. Yes, I am on board. I'm totally on board for this. Oh my gosh, Andy Serkis directing. It's really happening. Ladies and gentlemen, look no further than the horizon. On the third day, look to the east, and there, rising across the New Zealand coastline, will be Andy Serkis's hard-working cast and crew filming The Hunt for Gollum. It's actually happening now. It's really happening. I want to say congratulations to the hard work behind the scenes that Artie Papagiorgio and Phoebe Gittins working so hard on that script. They've been working on that screenplay, doing rewrites and rewrites, and they're getting it. They're getting it done. The team is down there doing pre-visualization. They're down there right now working their tails off so that they can have all the stuff prepared and ready to go when the cameras start rolling next spring. However, it won't be our spring. It will be their autumn. Am I not mistaken? Yes. It will be springtime here in the Northern Hemisphere, the very beginning. But it'll be the very, very end of summer and the beginning of fall for them down in New Zealand. So that will prove to be very interesting.
Uh,
Oh, my cat is howling in the distance. Hey, kitty.
well, Cliff,
I see you.
speaking of filming,
Everyone can hear you.
well, I can't. I don't think no one can hear your
Oh my God,
cat.
he's
But
screaming at the top of his lungs right there. Oh
Cliff,
my God, it's funny.
we had a huge anniversary this last weekend, Cliff, because we are
Hmm.
3 days removed from October 11th, and October 11th is officially the first day of filming for for the Lord of the Rings movies in 1999. That's 26 years ago this
Oh,
weekend.
wow.
Uh,
That is a very special anniversary. That's when they started principal photography. And they had to juggle things around because Ian McKellen was still working as Magneto in Vancouver on the first X-Men movie, and he wasn't yet released from his production schedule. So they had to start doing some other things that didn't involve Ian. I remember this. I remember
and
covering
that
this.
scene, that thing that doesn't require any other actors other than the four hobbits was the wooded road, the one where the Nazgul show up,
That's right.
and that was
And
the
do you know where they
very
filmed
first
that?
thing filmed, period. That is the
I've
very
been on
first
that
thing.
path. I have been in that forest, and I have walked on that walking path. It's on Mount Victoria, also known by the locals as Mount Vic. It is the pathway that you go up when you leave the city streets and go up, and it's kind of like you're in the middle of the city, like being in Griffith Park. You're walking this big,
Yeah, it's a
beautiful
public
mountain
park.
trail, but you're
This
still
walking
in the
path
middle of the big city.
the
Yeah.
walking path is not unique to the movie. I mean, it is a regular walking path. People walk it all the time
Oh,
before the
yes, they
movies
do.
and of course after. Uh,
Yes. And did you know that there's an Edmund Hillary memorial right at the top at the end of the path? Because Edmund Hillary, the great mountaineer, was a New Zealander. Let us not forget. So they have a commemorative plaque and a little thing up there at the end of the path at the top of Mount Victoria. It's really cool. I love being up there. And we go down the slope on the left-hand side, and there's Miramar, which is the nice, expensive suburbs where Peter and Fran have a house. And he has all of his World War I collections right down there in Miramar on
That's
the other
right.
side of the hill.
So
Yeah.
October 11th is the first day filming, and if you guys recall, I believe it's in the commentary tracks for Return of the King, uh, but
Mm-hmm.
but just 11 days after this first shot, which is in Fellowship of the Ring,
Wow.
you know what what like the I think it's the second or third set they shot on was 11 days later, October 22nd. That is when they shot the Return of the King scene when Sean Astin is kicked out of the climb. Remember when Gollum says, accuses Gollum accuses Samwise of eating all the bread, and Frodo sends him away, and he has to climb back down the long stairs.
Yes,
That
that crazy thing that never happened in the books. Yeah, that crazy
Yeah,
thing.
well, it's in the movie, and that was the first thing shot for Return of the King ever.
Wow.
And one of the reasons that they shot that so early was, as Cliff just talked about, Ian McKellen was still filming X-Men, so they needed to film anything without Ian.
Hmm.
So
And then,
they started
yes, that's
filming
true.
Return of the King. Uh,
You
there.
know what? Soundscapes by Jordan Reynolds. He says, I have to say, in the director's commentary for the trilogy, Peter Jackson mentions a 25th anniversary edition extended cut no less than 5 different times. I counted. Wow. He really did mention it over and over again back then. He
Cliff,
really believed it was going to
what do we
happen.
call that now, Cliff? You have a name for that.
Wishful thinking?
Unicorn.
What? Oh, the Unicorn Edition. Yes. Yeah, yeah, we'll call it the Unicorn Edition. Wow, this is so cool. Um, you know, I'm very excited by the concept of Andy getting the band back together and them filming in some of these amazing areas. And I'm also excited by the concept of um, everybody wanting to come back and be part of it in some way. There's still no announcements yet and nothing official about Ian McKellen or Viggo Mortensen officially coming back. Is that true? The only person we have official, aside from the obvious of Andy Serkis, we have Elijah Wood. But aren't we still hanging
And
on?
Ian McKellen. Ian was the first one to leak the thing. We've heard rumors and
Yeah,
gossip of Tariel is coming back. Evangeline Lilly is coming back. Uh,
rumors
we've
about Lee Pace, left and right, but they remain just rumors. I
just
want to. I
rumors.
just want to double check if we have a checklist: confirmed list and rumored list. So we have rumored list, all of them.
That'd be a good page. But Cliff,
Yeah,
I
we should
guess
make one.
you're leading up to our next big announcement. I mean, this show is full of announcements this week. We can
All right,
confirm
very good.
a new returning member of the Lord of the Rings cast and crew for Hunt for Gollum. Folks, this is right in the middle there. That is Dan Henna. Dan
Yay,
Henna
Dan
is
Henna
the
is coming
visual
back.
effects supervisor.
Yay!
He won all the Oscars. He's
Oh, he's
standing
amazing.
right next to John Howe. No, Alan Lee, right there. Uh, and Dan Hanna is coming back
Wow.
officially in his official capacity as Weta Digital's
How exciting.
VFX supervisor. Cliff,
Exciting. Very exciting.
It's even more exciting because
I'm
what has
I'm so down for this.
What has Dan Henna, who won all the Oscars for visual effects on Lord of the Rings, what has Dan Henna been up to in the years since?
Tell
The
me.
the
I'm sure he has a curriculum vitae a mile long. He's
well,
worked on so many interesting things.
he has won Oscars for
Yes.
the Avatar movies,
Yes, working with James Cameron. Yes.
Big Jim, don't miss. And the Avatar
Yes.
movies are some of the
Yes.
best VFX ever, ever,
Ever. Yeah, ever. That's true.
period. There are scenes in Avatar: Way of the Water where I cannot believe that I'm watching
A
a.
water simulation. You can't believe it. You cannot believe your eyes. Look, I even watch Corridor Crew on YouTube. Everybody does. They're really great YouTube channel, and they're visual effects designers and artists who carefully dissect all these great visual effects sequences. They interview some legendary visual effects directors, many people that we know and love from the history of motion pictures, and they will say the same that you just said. There's an insane level of VFX proficiency going on with that team of people working with Big Jim Cameron. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and not only that, Dan Hanna was VFX supervisor and production designer on the most visually stunning Thor movie. And
What was that? Ragnarok?
that's correct.
Yeah.
Ragnarok is the most it's my favorite Thor movie. It is the I feel like it's the most comic booky movie Marvel has ever done. And there are many scenes and shots in that movie, Thor Ragnarok, that
Hmm.
are incredible just to watch. They're like paintings come to life.
They are. I agree. Ragnarok is an awesome movie, mostly because you get this really heavy metal version of Galadriel. I mean, you get Kate Blanchett, all opposite version of Galadriel. It's like if Kate Blanchett could be the Lady of Light, then she could also be the demon lady of hell. And that's her, Hela. And I mean, nothing beats a pissed off Kate Blanchett. There's just nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And she's a total rock star in that movie. She's amazing in that movie. And who else is in it? Who else? You
That that
guys
that's
that's raise your hands.
that's
Big
all
Lord of
we're
the
le-
Rings. No,
that's
big Lord
all
of the
we're
Rings
revealing.
alumnus
That
who stars in that movie. It is Keith. It is Urban, not Keith.
Not Keith
Sorry.
Urban. Keith.
I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say Carl. Sorry. Carl Urban. Yes, Carl Urban and Kate Blanchett just chewing the scenery. I love that movie. It's really fun.
Cliff, we so that's one of the big announcements today. We can confirm that Dan Henna, who is just a rock star, making the most visually stunning movies of the last 10 years,
So
is
funny.
now jumping on to Hunt for Gollum. Cliff, we have unconfirmed reports,
Yes.
but our buddy Doug Adams, who
Oh,
wrote the music of
music.
Lord of the Rings,
The music of the Lord of the Rings. He's a great fellow.
now in its eighth printed edition, eighth printing. It is one of the most popular, best-selling film soundtrack books of all time. He was spotted this week with the maestro himself. What they were talking about, I don't know. There's no
Uh-oh.
context other than Doug Adams saying it was a long day.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I am
Cliff,
really.
what's going on here?
I could read between the lines, or maybe I could read between the two chairs. You know what you need? You need to put a couple of ferns in between those chairs. Just put two ferns right there in between the inimitable Howard Shore and the extraordinary Doug Adams. I'm sorry, Gene. I was very funny. I didn't mean to be that funny, but I do feel bad that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban split up. I feel bad. They were a beautiful couple. But aside from that,
Nicole
I spent.
Kidman, are you into Lord of the Rings?
We have a different Urban we can introduce you to. His name is Carl. Carl Urban. Um, you know what? If they're sitting in a room together, that means something is up. Okay, this isn't just sitting around having pancakes and talking to each other about good old times. If those two are in a photo, something's going on, Justin. Don't you think? There's something going on. And do you know what I suspect that is? Unicorn Edition, 25th anniversary. Howard Shore must be working on something. He must be working on some related subject to all the unused music, the arrangements that were never produced. Oh my
The
gosh.
wedding march of
The wedding
Eowyn
march.
and Faramir.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am really down for this. This is proof to me that there's movement. The needle is now moved. I don't need any other paperwork or press releases from Warner Brothers Entertainment. I don't need any press release from New Line Cinema. All the proof I need is right there. That picture. Something is happening relative to the 25th anniversary. This is proof.
Cliff,
To me, this is my proof.
we have
What do you guys think?
we
What
have
do you
mo-
think in
we
the
have
chat?
more good news, Cliff. We have more good news. I'm
Something
telling
is
you,
happening.
this episode is full of good news, Cliff.
You know what? Zap Verasepa in the chat says they're wearing suits and ties, so it must be serious. Right you are, my friend. Right you are.
Cliff, you ready for the next huge good news?
Bring it.
We started the show with the Lord of the Rings the Hobbit variety show, going
can't.
on all year. We just announced that Dan Henna is returning as VFX supervisor. Howard Shore.
On the hunt for Gollum.
Howard Shore
is sitting there.
is sitting there. Who knows
Doing
doing
something.
what? While Cliff, I want you to
What?
read this headline.
Okay, what's happening? Let me see. Hold on. Let me pin this. Plans to reopen Tolkien and Lewis Pub approved. The Eagle and Child? Oh, wow. And they did some renovations, and they did make a lot of changes, but I didn't know how long it had been closed. Bring it up. Scroll that up. Let me read this. Plans to reopen a pub frequented by two of the 20th century's most well-known authors, J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, have been approved. Planning permission and listed building consent have both been granted to restore the Eagle and Child in Oxford, which was built in about 1840. The Grade 2 listed site has been closed since 2020 and is owned by U.S. tech billionaire Larry Ellison's firm, the Ellison Institute of Technology. Now, members of the Inklings group, including Tolkien and Lewis, would regularly meet with other academics at the pub. There is a plaque inside commemorating the writers' get-togethers. The plans to restore the site have been designed by Foster and Partners, which said the project would adopt a, quote, conservation-led approach to restore and preserve as much of the original building as possible after years of dormancy. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Justin. Didn't they do a renovation before COVID and the whole building was reopened partially as an Airbnb and partially as a pub?
Yeah,
Isn't that what happened many years ago?
I don't remember. I do know it's been closed since 2020.
That's
A lot of
wild.
places closed for pandemic, and so
Wow.
that's so yeah. The Eagle and Child, it's coming back. A new dining room will also be installed with lower
Wow.
levels of adjacent buildings will become a cafe. Floor space above the pub will be used as a workspace for Ellison students, scholars, and staff. So there you go. The Eagle and Child is
How about that,
coming
Mapples?
back.
That's so awesome. That's incredibly awesome. I love that.
Yeah, incredible.
I'm
Incredible.
ready. Let's go. I have every desire in the world to go to the Eagle and Child right now and get a proper pint. Let's do it. It comes in pints.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm getting me one. Yes.
Well, Cliff, I'm
That's
afraid.
good news today. Everyone in the chat is just ebullient. There's a really good, uplifting energy, and I think we needed that today. I know I did. And I'm very excited about Hunt for Gollum, and I'm excited about whatever crazy, amazing, and off kilter things they're doing for season 3 of Rings of Power because it's going to be wacky and interesting. And I'm excited about the Hobbit variety show. I guarantee you Billy and Dom are behind it. You know those guys that they're like, "Hey, let's put on a show." And that's their attitude. I love that. Real creative powerhouses, both of them. And oh my gosh, seeing Howard Shore getting to work again on some kind of music. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going crazy. The,
Well,
the anticipation is really quite something. It really is.
Cliff, this is breaking news today. I wasn't expecting this. We didn't have this planned, but we can't do a show today without speaking
What?
on one of the greatest
What's happening?
artists of all time. Drew Struzan has passed away.
Oh my gosh, he was the legend. He is the legend. Oh my gosh, Drew Struzan,
He
ladies
he
and
he
gentlemen.
painted the posters to Back to the Future, to Star Wars, to Indiana Jones, Adventures in Babysitting, The Goonies. If it's your
Oh, so
favorite
many.
movie, if it's your favorite movie, Drew Struzan painted it, and he
Yes,
uh, did a
yes.
lot of work on Lord of the Rings, the Topps trading card game.
Oh, he certainly did. You know what? A lot of people don't talk about that these days, but he certainly did a lot of amazing portrait pieces
Look at
for the
these.
trading cards.
These were all for the Topps trading cards. You can see Freaky Bilbo in the ring. You got uh,
Freaky Bilbo in the ring. Wow.
you've got the Isildur.
Look at that.
I mean and Cliff. How big is a Topps trading card? It's small, right? It's like 3 inches tall.
So cool.
But he put like that man had more talent on the tip of a pencil than
Yes, he did.
anyone could ever hope for. I mean, look what he's doing with two colors there. He's literally sketching them with charcoal and white paint,
Yeah.
whiteout. Like he's got a white pencil and a
It's a white
charcoal.
pencil. Yeah, he's just doing two colors of pencils, a black and a white pencil. And therefore, he is creating chiaroscuro. And therefore, he is one of the world's greatest chiaroscurists.
And he
That
did
can
not
be
trace. He did not trace it.
said
He just looked at
quite
the
safely.
key art. He looked at the trailer for Lord of the Rings, and he drew these from the trailer. He just had the trailer sitting on his
Yeah.
laptop, and he would just look at like no tracing, no projection, no iPad, no Wacom tablet. This was a man and an easel and a
Yeah.
pencil, and
He's
uh,
amazing.
he
He's
did
amazing.
he did incredible work uh, on some of the stuff. Let's see if
Wow.
we can find some
That is
close-ups.
superb. That's really superb.
You've got Aragorn, Lord of the Rings, Topps trading card. I mean, I
I
want
love it.
all of his Drew Struzan. I want
I
all
love
of
it.
his Lord of the Rings trading cards right now.
They're brilliant. They're so brilliant. Well, the
Look what he's
price
doing
and
there.
value,
Three colors.
yeah,
Three colors. White, flesh, and
flesh
black,
tone, and yeah,
and
black
charcoal.
pencil, white, yeah, black charcoal, white charcoal, and flesh
It's
tone. That's all he's
perfect.
working with. It's
It's
amazing.
it's unreal.
Yeah, what he can do, what he does is just amazing. Oh my gosh, he will be sorely, sorely missed. And his posters, his movie posters, were some of the most iconic ever made. Like in so many
And
ways.
he loved posting them. I mean, this is from his own Facebook page. You know? Like
Yep,
he loved Lord of the Rings.
yep. Do you know Richard Amsel and Drew Struzan are the two greatest poster artwork people ever.
Cliff, look at
Uh,
this. The original drawing of Sauron for the Topps Trading Cards game. Size
Stunning.
is 12 inch by 19 inch.
Wow. selling
So,
for $2,995 US. No, actually, Zap Verisepa, there in the chat, I did not study art. I studied playwriting, theatrical arts. I was in the special conservatory program at the Goodman School for Actors and Acting at DePaul University in Chicago. And there at DePaul University, it was all about playwriting, criticism, and analysis and critique and structure of playwriting. I never had any visual arts background, to say the least. But performing arts, yes, I have quite a background in that. But when I look at this man's detail and what he can do with a pencil, you could just fall over, just knock me over with a feather. It's beyond amazing.
I mean,
Amazing.
look at, like, when you look up close, you can just see the sketch lines.
Yeah,
You know, there isn't
flawless.
anything special other than just the perfect line
Aww.
in the perfect place. The talent of Drew Struzan is second to none. Uh, and so this is his, hey, Cliff. And can you believe that Topps Trading Cards got Drew Struzan to draw cards?
Yeah, I can't believe that they got an artist of his stature to do work for these trading cards. But then again, maybe Drew Struzan at the time knew that this was something special, and this was the time. He just knew this was the time to do the work for them. It was such an iconic moment in film history, so I'm really glad that he did.
Yeah, just incredible.
Oh, that's so beautiful. TD Matthew in the chat says, I love the Goodman Theater, and so do I, good sir. I proposed to my wife before a performance of A Christmas Carol at the Goodman. That is awesome. Totally awesome, man. That is so great.
I
I
mean,
love that.
Drew Struzan, like, he did the poster to The Thing. He did
Yep,
Star Wars poster. Back on the
yep.
Muppets, there's your boy Kermit D. Frog
There's
here.
Kermit at that, and the ultimate Muppets motion picture of all time, with Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge. Absolutely brilliant Christmas Carol. And look at that. In the style that he's so familiar with, he did the uh, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. However, the previous Indiana Jones movies were done by Richard Amsel. I'm sure you know that already, Justin.
He also did he did the Harry Potter posters, Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets.
He did the Dark Crystal. No, no. I'm thinking. Yeah, that would be Drew. Drew Struzan did these Harry Potter posters as well. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
of
yeah.
course.
Amazing stuff.
He did Blade Runner.
Oh, what a classic! What a great classic. That poster is nuts.
I mean, just Drew Struzan.
Wow,
In,
amazing stuff.
incredible, just incredible. Uh, and you watch him work, and he really is just that guy.
There's one artist for every.
There's a documentary
Oh,
called
what about
Drew.
episode one? Remember the one he did for episode one, The Phantom Menace? Show everybody that. You have to
He,
show everybody that.
well,
It's
they just
so
showed Rambo. They just showed
classic.
E.T. Uh, you know, um, there's our buddy Leonard Maltin, um, and Drew, the man behind the poster,
The man behind Back to the
is
Future as
is
well. What
is
an
the
icon.
official documentary of Drew Struzan. He lived here in Big Bear. He was up here in the
Oh,
mountains in Big Bear, and
oh,
he did
I did not know that.
all of his
How cool.
painting here in Southern California area.
How cool.
And I mean, there's the Green Mile. Like
Wow. I
the
have to see that.
I mean, this documentary has everybody. Of course it does. It has Steven Spielberg. It has George Lucas. It has
No.
Harrison Ford. Uh, you know,
Jordan, seriously, Jordan says, did you see that the actor Ahmed Best is co-writing a new comic book about Kelleran and Jar Jar teaming up? I did not know, but that is amazing. That is so awesome. So awesome. And oh, by the way, since we're looking at it, that poster for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is out of control. That's one of my favorite images with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. It's just so brilliant. You know what? We've lost one of the greatest legends in motion picture history. We've lost him, and I'm so sad. It's just, gosh. I mean, really, gosh, the excellence, the level of excellence that you have under your belt, and you make these posters, it's beyond me.
It blows my mind that Drew Struzan was the greatest artist of our time, and he didn't even work on the movies. He made the posters. Like why didn't Drew get the chance to do what John Howe and Alan Lee did, which was design the movies as production designers and win
Mm-hmm.
Oscars?
Mm-hmm.
John Howe and Alan Lee won Oscars for
They
Lord
did.
of the Rings.
Yes.
And here he is, drawing Lord of the Rings tops cards and not working on the actual movies. Oh,
Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? A little irony built in there.
so rest in peace to Drew Struzan, a true
Yes, that was
legend.
Police Academy. TD Matthew in the chat. Yes, that was Police Academy. Yes, that was Back to the Future. Yes, that was Phantom Menace. Yes, that was E.T. That was all those things he did so much stunning imagery for.
Yeah.
You know what? Is it a lost art? No. Uh, I'm led to this unfortunate conclusion, with the way that poster art is done for films these days, that it's a lost art. It really is. There's something about what we used to do for film marketing. Uh, I'm telling you how hard it is to put a movie poster together. Um, Even all these many, many years later, as much as I like the fun design that we did on our documentary movie poster, it's still not quite what we could have done. It could always be better. You always think about these things years and years after the fact. As a filmmaker myself, I think we could have done better, but there's Dominic Monaghan holding this giant one ring of power, and but to have worked with someone like that would have been a dream. To work with someone like Drew Struzan, yeah, it is a lost art indeed. Yes, yes, indeed. So, wow, what else happened?
Well,
Didn't we just do a big appearance, the OneRing.net making a big appearance for the fans at New York Comic Con? Didn't that just happen this weekend?
huge. New York Comic Con
Yes,
was
yes, we had a big
incredible,
gathering.
incredible gathering of fans. Great to see a lot of our old pal New Betta Do Betta and some wonderful cosplayers uh,
Fabulous people.
doing New York Comic Con up big. That New York Comic Con. Thank you all for buying tickets to the party. And everything like that. We also, what else happened this weekend was the very first Lord of the Rings LARP out in Kentucky, and
Oh,
and
yeah, that happened in Kentucky. Of course, the big gathering out
and
there.
I heard it rained on the first day,
Oh
and that was
dear.
interesting because in the LARP you stay in character, you sleep in tents, you go on nature walks, and you come across orcs and stuff and of course big feasts and stuff. So I want to hear more about the LARP. I'm going to try to get people that were there for next week, and maybe we can get a download from Nerd of the Rings and Happy Hobbit and our own Jim Wirt, Mad Eye Gamgee. I want to hear how it went because
Yeah, we should talk to
the
them. You know what? Next week, guaranteed, we're going to have our friends come into the show live right here on Torn Tuesday, and we will dissect the whole experience. We'll learn all about it from the inside out, and I'm excited. I'm really excited that they had a great time, and I hope they didn't get too wet with their wet little hobbity feet walking around in the mud. Haha.
All right. Well, Cliff, that's not the only stuff that we have to reveal. Cliff, this was a huge,
Is there
huge
more?
week for Rings of Power.
Okay.
We talked a lot about the politics behind the show last week with the new leadership at Amazon Prime,
Yes, we did talk about that.
but this week over in Hankley Common, filming continued, and we've got set photos, Cliff. We've got set
Spy
photos.
reports.
Let's
They
do
really
this.
are sending us good spy reports. Look at that. That is totally sneaking over the farmhood fence, over the fence, over the garden wall, so to speak. You know, it is that time of year for everybody to rewatch that amazing series, the animated series Over the Garden Wall. Now is the time of year to rewatch it. But that is definitely sneaking a camera over the farm wall and looking and taking a peek at what they're filming out there. What does that look like to you?
What do your elf eyes see, Cliff? Let's see if we can zoom in
It looks
a
like
bit.
armies gathering. Are they on horseback?
This
Is there horses?
there it let's
Are there any? Yeah,
I
yes,
see
there
it.
are
I
horses.
see horses.
There's some
Uh,
cute horses.
let's
Look
let's
at the
see if we
horses
can
over there.
get a close up
Okay.
picture. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
see, there you go.
There you go. That's
Is
the good
that a
stuff.
Numenorian on a horse, Cliff?
Or an elf. Or is that an elf of some kind?
Or is that an elf of some kind?
Who is that? Is that one of the men of the Southlands, previously Mordor, who are now living in Pelargir?
This is
We should call
definitely
them-
a big open flatland, and it does look like it doesn't look war torn. That's the interesting thing, Cliff.
It doesn't really.
Like if you look at it, like they've got the lighting grid, they've got some people on horseback, but this is not supposed to represent a battlefield. Would
No,
you agree
because
with me?
No, I think the people in the chat are correct. There's a TIE fighter on the far right.
Well, yeah, that's the big lighting grid. So
There's a big TIE fighter. Oh, look at all the horses. Okay, cool.
we do have horses. Let's zoom in on that TIE fighter. You can see it's just a lighting grid. It's just a lighting grid on a crane there. This is not a battlefield. This is not a battlefield.
Oh, gotta go, Katie. Bye. Lots of love to you, Katie. And thank you for joining the show tonight. It's always lovely to have you
But
here.
Cliff, this is Eagle Eye fans believe
Wow.
that this photo includes two characters.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at Círdan the shipwright, and I'm looking at an elf with very, very long blonde hair. Is it Jamie Campbell Bower? Is that our boy, our missing Celeborn?
Well, according to some
Ooh,
fans
okay.
in Discord,
Really?
this one at the top, it could be Galadriel and her
It could be
long
Galadriel.
flowing hair, and that guy could be Jamie Campbell Bower as Celeborn. We
Okay.
might be looking at the very first shot ever seen of Galadriel and Celeborn
Okay.
in the same scene. We don't know who Jamie Campbell Bower is playing. He could
We
be
don't?
Glorfindel.
Oh, I know. I
He
think my gut instinct has been correct all these many
He
months.
could be Glorfindel, he could be
Could be.
Celeborn, and he could be
Yes.
killed off in 2 episodes. We
Yes, he
don't,
could.
we
Yes.
don't know.
Yes. Yeah, you never know until you get there. That's true.
And according to the lore in the show, Celeborn is dead. We're not here to relitigate that. But the only thing the show has ever said about Celeborn is that he's dead. Period. End of story. I don't care what any showrunners have said in interviews. So this is interesting. If
No,
this is true,
Justin, the word is
Galadriel.
presumed. The word
No!
you forgot to say is presumed.
It's
dead.
not presumed dead.
He's presumed
she
dead.
says he's dead in the same
She said
breath.
we never found a body. And you know what?
She-
When you never
she
find a
says-
body, guess who
she
comes
says
back? Darth
I-
Maul. Darth Maul came back. Oh,
Oh, my
look,
God.
Scarlet Witch in Marvel. She's going to come back. Do you know why? Because they never found the body.
Next thing you're going to tell me is Glenda lives at the end of Wizard of Oz.
The bad witch? The good witch? Who?
I don't
Galinda?
know.
Galinda?
So this might be the
No, Elphaba.
first
You mean
leaked.
Elphaba.
This might be the first photo
No.
of Celeborn and Galadriel.
Might be. It might be the first picture of Círdan and Celeborn. We'll see. It's presumed Celeborn is presumed dead, just for the record. Just for the record. Look at the way the people are responding to us in the live chat. You can't be that way, Justin. You have to speak with the caveat emptor, buyer beware. You have to tell people, well, maybe.
Do those
he's dead.
flags remind you of anything? I can't place those
Way
flags.
too blurry. No, who knows what those sigils are? Who knows what those colors mean?
So again,
royal houses?
Yeah, again, this is not a battlefield. So we've got a lot of horses. We got horses carrying flags. Obviously, right? They are carrying the flags of their people, right?
Like, the flags of their houses.
Yeah,
or
this
their,
is a procession.
Royal kingdom.
This is some sort of procession. This is not riding into battle.
Okay. Maybe they're going to have a meeting instead of going to a battle. Maybe they're just arriving to have a, let's reconnoiter and have a meeting and discuss our battle strategies. So maybe they're meeting what you would call the Gathering of the Clouds. That's a Hobbit reference. A reference to one of the chapters of The Hobbit, the Gathering of the Clouds.
Isn't there a Hobbit isn't there a chapter called Many Meetings?
Yeah, but that's actually in the Fellowship of the Ring, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. No, anonymous girl, there's no spoilers for the upcoming Wicked movie. I was referring to the original 1930s Wizard of Oz. I didn't even say Elphaba. No. No, I mean, the Wicked Witch of the East is the one that was squished when the house from Kansas fell on her in Munchkinland. And that is something that we've known since 1928, or whenever L. Frank Baum first published that story, whenever that happened. So no spoilers at all. No spoilers.
By the way, I watched Wizard of Oz in the Sphere this weekend. We'll talk about that in a minute.
That is very problematic in many ways.
No, it really isn't. And
yes, it really is. You haven't seen what I've seen.
You haven't seen it. You have not seen it.
I've seen the video of the people on the figures, the AI figures.
You've watched a YouTube video and got angry about it.
They're just sitting there smiling and waving automatically at nobody, at nothing. Why? Because the prompts told them to smile and turn and wave at nobody.
You watched a YouTube video. You're as bad as Nerdrotic right now. You're just hating for hating. I haven't even seen it, and I'm hating. That's what you are right now.
I'm not a hater. I'm not hating on
Well,
nothing.
then don't talk about something you haven't watched. You haven't watched it. It's not problematic. You haven't watched it.
Okay. Have it your way, Burger King.
All right.
Have it your way.
But let's finish our talk about these leaked pics from Rings of Power Season 3. Now, Cliff...
published in 1900. Thank you, Princess Toy Nerd.
You can obviously see the colors. You can obviously see the colors of these riders. Now let's compare that with the leaked pics that we got last week.
Oh, heck. Yes, okay.
All right, you read in my mail? You read in my mail now?
Soldiers under the banner of our Farazan. In
That's
right. In the scarlet and gold. Yes.
Yes.
Right? Okay, these are scarlet and gold Kingsmen. Maybe they're going to be called a particular name. I don't know. But they are under the banner of Air Farazan. Yes.
Right, and so you can definitely see the colors. Let's go to this wide shot. You can see the colors, the meetings of, you got Elrond meeting Elrond and Gil-galad meeting with Ar-Pharazôn.
You know what? That's a pretty spectacular place to film. That is really awesome. I'm really glad they're taking full advantage of the British Isles in all of their bizarre glory. It's really cool.
And
cool place to shoot.
I saw some Twitter and Reddit posts complaining about how all fantasy TV shows look the same. You can't say that about Rings of Power. Like no one's doing it like Lord of the Rings. Let's be honest. Like they're hiring helicopter shots on the coast with the waves crashing up, and like, come on, no one's doing it like Rings of Power. So if you compare the Númenorian I'm sorry. The show has not.
And there's the High King on the far left. Now, this particular shot that we're on, that we came back to, there is Gil-galad on the far left with his spear aglos.
And there's
There he
our
is, right there.
Pharazôn on the far right, clad in gold. So you can see in this in these blurry photos from the feeling today that that's obviously Numenorians. So so we think, yeah, let's go to a wide shot. So you've got you got wide shots of what looks like Numenorian banners. Again, there's the red banner.
Yep, Numenorian banners.
There's the red banner.
That means the blue banners might actually be the banners of Gil-galad. So
because they're marching together. They're marching together.
This shows the unified armed forces of two different kingdoms joined together, Elf and Numenorian.
I wonder if this is the same type of shot that we had in season 1 when Numenor got off the boats and suddenly had 1,000 horses riding across the open plain to defend Southlands, a place that no one had even cared of, and the elves didn't even care about. That was weird, but this feels like a big open plain where the forces of Gil-galad and our Pharazôn are riding across the open plain to somewhere.
And with that gray, that typical England, that very English gray sky, it really diffuses the shadows, and the cinematographer is probably having a pretty good time with that, because when you have an overcast sky, it really does diffuse all the shadows, and you can continue to film from different angles throughout the day without losing continuity of your shots. It makes continuity a hell of a lot easier because all the shadows are diffused by the overcast sky. So you can shoot early and then midday and then afternoon, and the light on the characters still looks much the same throughout the day. And you don't have to do any corrections of camera position to make up for where you want the sun to be shown in the sky. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Another thing that
cool shots.
Yeah,
these are cool.
And one more thing that Aiden in our Discord was pointing out is he has circled the shields, right?
Okay, the shields.
The shields are different to the regular soldiers and different than the Pharazôn guards. Their shields are silver and brown with a silver and white armor. You can see those armor. The armor is looking closer to the shiny white armor that we saw at the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring.
How cool is that? I think that's really neat. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a photo of Elrond. So if we look at what we know, that the show is a prequel to the movies, more than it is an adaptation of anything. So this is Elrond and his battalion in the movies. So definitely lots of gold. You can see this starting to trickle from Gil-galad and our Pharazôn, and the heavy use of gold maybe trickles into Gil-galad's army, which Elrond will lead in the big final battle. So yeah, we might have a third battalion here that is not Pharazôn's and not Gil-galad's, but suddenly a silver and white armor with silver and brown shields in this.
But this picture, that picture with the red circles, was way too granular. That's a potato.
Yeah,
photo. You took that photo with a potato, and you can't really tell.
Yeah,
the color.
Look, folks, if you're going to go to Hankley Common and get some spy photos, we appreciate it. but bring a proper camera with a long lens. You need a 400 millimeter minimum. Go spend the 50 quid and rent a camera and a lens. Rent a long lens.
Rent a camera with a big telephoto lens.
Yeah, that's right. Just
Yes,
if you're gonna go do it, you might as well just do it right. That's all I'm saying. Cliff, I wanted to ask you about a theory that a poster on Twitter who has in the past been suspiciously confident in his Rings of Power analysis.
Okay, let's see. What have you got?
But I want to get your opinion because this guy floated a new idea today, and I want your honest gut reaction opinion if the show pursues this.
All right, let me see what you got.
Hall of Lore says, almost all information about Lorien's situation is contained in 2 contradicting texts in Unfinished Tales.
Yes.
Therefore, and you agree with that.
Yes.
Therefore, the show could again take some liberties. Don't like that, but whatever. The show could take some liberties and make it into some kind of Mirkwood, perhaps with Celeborn in it, for Galadriel to purify.
That's possible, but it doesn't make much sense when they've already got a full Greenwood the Great that at this point has not turned fully dark because Dol Guldur hasn't been built by Sauron. He's busy making his fortress in Barad-dûr in Mordor. So, yes, I hear you, Kat. So why do you think that another forest needs to be purified? That it just represents a duplication?
Well, let me.
No,
okay,
it's a better word. The better word is redundancy.
Well,
that just
benefit of the doubt.
Redundancy of
right.
the story.
Yeah, I hate to play this role, but let me defend the idea. Let me defend the idea.
You always love to do that, so go ahead.
Okay. So if the show if the show wants to set itself apart from the movies while still being connected to the movies, I'm okay with the idea of Lorien being Mirkwood but purified. I like the consistency of this is what Sauron's bad energy just does to forests. That's what it does. And
he never housed himself there. This is so wrong-headed.
He did
from the get-go.
Did he do that in Mirkwood or Greenwood?
Not the forest of Lorelindonad that would later become Lothlorien.
But Sauron didn't hole up in Greenwood either.
Yes, but at this point in the story, he wasn't holed up anywhere but Mordor. And Mordor is his main focus, as has been covered in Seasons 1 and then Season 2. Now he's got an army, because Adar is out of the way, conveniently. Spoilers, so no more Adar. All those orcs are now going to be loyal to Sauron. He never spent time messing with that forest. So why the redundancy? Here's what Galadriel did with the power of her ring. And I think the guy who made this Twitter post, this tweet, because I still call them tweets, and I still call it Twitter, but this Hall of Lore account has suggested that Galadriel has some work to do in the forest. And that's close to what is happening, but it's not purifying. It's not purification of the forest. What she does is she finds a place that is so lovely, so fair, and so lovely that she preserves it, not purifies. She uses her ring of adamant. Nenya, the ring. Because Vilya belongs to Elrond. Narya, at this point in the story, belongs to Círdan. It will eventually be given to Gandalf, Grand Elf. But she doesn't purify the forest. She preserves it, using the power of the Elven Ring to slow down time. Why do you think Peter Jackson...
her husband's dead. She thinks her husband is dead. As far as she's concerned, he is dead. And
that's got
maybe
nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. What if Lorien is a forest that is under Sauron's power, and
Never was. It never was under his power.
You
It
don't
never
like
happened.
this idea at all, do you?
No, it's redundant. Because why would you purify one entire forest when you've got to do that later on in the story with Greenwood, which becomes Mirkwood? What? I mean, it's totally redundant. I mean, the fact that Peter Jackson sped up the film so much in Lothlorien so that Frodo and Galadriel walking through, everybody was moving in slow motion. Everyone was talking in slow motion. That was Peter telling us that time itself was being slowed down. And that was the power of her elven ring, that when you were within the boundaries of the Golden Wood, within the realm, within the girdle of her power that governed Lothlorien, you were in a place where time slowed down. It was an act of preservation, not an act of purification. That's it. I got nothing else to add to that. Am I crazy? Soundscapes by Jordan Rennell says, I thought it was hilarious, by the way. In the commentary, PJ specifically says that they didn't use titles on screen for new locations because, quote, it would probably be cheesy. Cough.
And
Mordor.
it was, and
Cough.
he was right. It was cheesy. It was terrible. You have a
it
map.
should have happened in dialogue.
It should have happened in a map. The camera should have pulled up from Adar sitting on that tree. The camera should have pulled up sky high and then turned into the map, like it's always done.
Or like I said a year ago or more, why couldn't the dialogue just be one of the orcs?
What do we call it, sir?
How about Glug talking to Adar and saying, why would we name it an elvish name? And Adar would have responded, because that is the language that will last, and everyone in Middle-earth will remember it.
Yeah,
it would be more permanent that way.
That would have been a
great way.
That's as cringy as Galadriel talking to a baby boy saying, "I've lost someone too, my husband and my brother."
Dude,
it was cringe because her husband isn't dead. It's cringe that she said, "I lost someone I love too, my brother and my husband." That's cringe. All right, Hall of Lore is defending his idea, saying the only part of Lorien's history that we get in The Lord of the Rings is the story of Amroth and Nimrodel, and it is tied to the awakening of the Balrog. But as with a preview of the Balrog, perhaps we will also get a preview of the sorrow upon Lothlorien. And then he pulls a quote from the Unfinished Tales. Or is this from Lord of the Rings? The voice of Legolas faltered, and the song ceased. I cannot sing any more, he said. That is but a part, for I have forgotten much. It is long and sad, for it tells how sorrow came upon Lothlorien. Lorien of the blossom, when the dwarves awakened evil in the mountains. But the dwarves did not make the evil, said Gimli.
I said not so, yet evil came, answered Legolas, sadly. Then many of the elves of Nimrodel's kindred left their dwellings and departed, and she was lost far in the south, in the passes of the White Mountains, and she came not to the ship where Amroth her lover waited for her. But in the spring, when the wind is in the new leaves, the echo of her voice may still be heard by the falls that bear her name. And when the wind is in the south, the voice of Amroth comes up from the sea, for Nimrodel flows into Silverlode, that the elves call Celebrant. And Celebrant into Anduin the Great, and Anduin flows into the Bay of Belfalas, whence the elves of Lorien set sail. But neither Nimrodel nor Amroth came ever back.
So there is separated lovers happening in this story, and if the showrunners want to allude to an actual Tolkien story in the context of their show, does this make you any more open to the idea of Celeborn in Lorien when it is a dark forest, because it goes dark when the Balrog was awakened, and we saw the Balrog awakened in season 1.
We also saw the Balrog buried under a landslide, assuming that Balrog will stay there buried until it comes awake again much, much, much later. I don't know what they're going to do with the Balrog yet because they've been dealing with the compression of
But
time
it
so
says right here,
much.
but Tolkien writes in Lord of the Rings, right here,
Yeah,
that
but this
that that that
the sorrow
Lorien.
upon Lothlorien that they're suggesting is the broken heart of these lovers, the broken hearts. It is a slight suggestion from Legolas's direct dialogue here that evil, when the Balrog was awakened, that the Balrog might have gone and rampaged outside of Khazad-dûm for a while, and maybe went and terrorized people who were local to Khazad-dûm. So there is the suggestion of that in the text here.
Are you coming around to appreciating this concept a little bit more, where Lorien, the sorrowful Lorien, is a thing in the show?
Maybe. Maybe. We'll see what they do with it.
I appreciate the idea. I can see why you would do it. I don't trust the quality of the storytelling to do it right. Then that's the big problem with the show. No one can trust the quality of the execution.
Thank you, Taylor David Hirth from Hawaii. It's so great to have you here in our live chat. Thanks for being with us on the show today. Much appreciated.
One last thing before we start to let you go. Morpeth Clark was seen this weekend at many things. In fact, she was out promoting her new film. Morpeth Clark for the premiere of her of Hamlet at the 69th BFI London Film Festival. Morpeth becoming a style icon, and if she is sharing scenes, the rumors are she shares a lot of scenes with Jamie Campbell Bower, who himself is a supermodel in the high fashion circuit. He walks the runways. He is so if her main scene partner is part of the high fashion bourgeoisie, you can see that already reflected in her personal styling, in her dress. I'm liking it. Morpeth and Jamie bouncing off each other. But
yeah,
she's
lovely. She looks really lovely in that outfit.
Not just high fashion. She's doing right by the world at a table read for Pride and Prejudice to raise money for Palestinians.
Medical aid for Palestinians. That's brilliant. Very good. That's really good that she's partaking in that. That's lovely.
All-star cast.
Wow, yeah, that's great. Look at that.
All-star cast, look at that. And Morpeth Clark on stage, rocking the red and green in support of Palestine.
That's so cool.
Palestinians. We stand. We stand. That's all. Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. That's very good. And I just like someone said how it was an anonymous girl who said how much Matrix she's looking like. Yeah, she's pulling a really, really good Matrix style. I like that look on her. And I'm sorry to everyone in the live chat, but maybe not. But somebody's
we literally
cannot
hear your cat at all. So
even though he's like 5 inches away from this microphone screaming.
Nope, couldn't hear any of it. Him? Couldn't hear any of it.
That's wild. Because he's as close to the microphone as I am, and he's screaming his head off.
None of that.
So, anyways.
Well, that's a huge show. We told you we celebrated Drew Struzan, the artist of all time when it comes to movie posters, who did incredible work for Topps Lord of the Rings trading card games. Here is his Gandalf with only 3 colored pencils. He's able to execute in incredible detail. Drew Struzan, legend, passed away today. We also told you about the Lord of the Rings huge variety show coming to fan expos across the country. Tickets go on sale next week, October 22nd. Be on the lookout for the links to Fan Expo because I want to see this variety hour. Don't you, Cliff?
I want to be the master of ceremonies. Yes, I do. And yeah, I'm excited about all of this, and rest in peace with great regard and great admiration, Drew Struzan. Andrew, you were the man. You were like the talent, and it's amazing what you contributed to the world of motion picture history over all those years. Um, do you have a lower third for me, Justin?
I
Moving on to
don't.
before we close the show. Do you
No,
have a Miyazaki minute, lower third? Pull it up.
no. I'll put it on the clock. I'll put it on the clock. You got 1 minute.
Jordan,
You got one
Jordan,
minute.
Jordan, what was the name of the two films that you saw? You saw Spirited Away this weekend, this past weekend. Tell me, Jordan. I mean, I just want to have Jordan on the air with us right now. He saw two films by the great master Miyazaki that he'd never seen before, and it's always amazing when you ask someone their first impressions, because what they're experiencing is real art, genuine artistry at the highest level. It's equivalent to asking somebody, how do you feel now that you've seen The Lord of the Rings for the first time? And they're like, wow, this is film making artistry at the highest level. So he saw My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away, two of the greatest films. Jordan, are you a fan? Before my 60 seconds is up and before he completely cuts off my mic, you were blown away. Okay, that's it. Soundscapes by Jordan Rennells. Everybody support that man. Support him on everything he does. He's an amazing artist, a sound designer, editor himself. He's really wonderful. And he says, I spent the whole night afterwards thinking about what I thought about them both. And that's the best thing that you can do. When you see a piece of art, an amazing painting, when you see the Sistine Chapel for the first time, when you see anything for the first time, and it's an incredible work of art, when that happens to you, it will sit with you. And Miyazaki has that quality. He is especially good at bringing the childlike innocence to the audience with My Neighbor Totoro because of the unfiltered, perfect point of view of a small child. The whole movie is not from the adult's point of view, it's from the smallest little child, May. Her point of view. She's 5. She might be 5 years old. And the world looks different to a 5-year-old than it does when you're 35. It's really amazing how Miyazaki managed to do that. I'm so thrilled, Jordan, that you had the chance to see this artwork. And 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 he says such a comforting feeling coming from both of them. Just, I don't know, facing challenges in the world and trying to deal with them. Yeah, Spirited Away. In Japanese, it's titled Sen to Chihiro no Kamikakusha, which is badly pronounced, but that is Sen and the mysterious disappearance of Chihiro. That's basically how you translate the title. Because, you know, she loses her identity, she loses her name when she goes into the spirit world, and the witch, Yubaba, forces her into employment and takes her name and changes it. So it's just, you know, Chihiro is no longer Chihiro. She disappears and she becomes Sen. So that's why the movie is titled that way. Sen and the mysterious disappearance or the spiriting away of Chihiro. It is remarkable when you can sit down with one of the greatest artists who happens to be alive today still. Think about how lucky we are that we're living in the time of Peter Jackson. We are living in the time of Alfonso Cuarón and amazing filmmakers like, you know, who really put the pedal to the metal and make amazing artwork, and they know the assignment. These are film directors like Miyazaki, like Catherine Bigelow, like Guillermo del Toro. These are filmmakers who understand the assignment of making real art for art's sake, not just for the computational push and pull of the marketplace, not just to make money, because it is about making money, and inevitably, Studio Ghibli does make money with their films, but that's because people recognize the quality of their artistry. And I'm so excited that you are now coming into the fold. Jordan, welcome to the fold of Miyazaki fans. Really exciting. I'll be back next week with 2 more. I'm not sure what's next on the list. Okay, Jordan, we're going to have you back and we're going to talk more about this. All right, so exciting. Thank you for indulging me in my Miyazaki minute, even though that was about 3 or 4 minutes worth. But that was really good stuff. Good stuff. Uh-oh, what's this? I swear, Robert Aramayo on the most inspirational British film of the year. Is this an interview with Robert Aramayo in Rolling Stone? Is that what that is? Yeah, that's pretty cool. He's awesome. So awesome. I love Robert Aramayo, especially when he's not making out with his mother-in-law. That's my favorite way of enjoying Robert. I had to do it. Sorry, had to do it. Okay, this is the end of our wonderful program. Justin, thank you for pushing the buttons and pulling the magic strings behind the emerald curtain. Pay no attention to that little man behind the curtain. It's just Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. That's all it is. I am really grateful for you, the live audience. Thank you for joining us on the Bookface and on YouTube, the Tube U. Thank you for being with us from Discord, Twitch, Twitter, everybody who came to be part of this live show. It's really fantastic to have you all with us every week. Next week, indeed, guess what we're going to be doing? We'll be right here, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, for another wonderful episode of Torn Tuesday. Until then, follow us on all social channels, The One Ring Net. You guys at FanX, look me up. Hire me to be your master of ceremonies for FanX for these amazing variety shows that all the cast of Lord of the Rings are doing. Oh my goodness, what a great night. I wish you all very well. And have a safe, wonderful night. And please look after one another. Me, you know where I'm at. QuickBeam 2000 on Blue Sky and on Instagram. Follow me there, and we'll talk. We'll have a really great time. Until then, everyone, be safe and be sound. Sound of mind. Keep your brains in your brain pan. Don't let the algorithm make you crazy. Please don't let the doom scrolling make you crazy. Just don't do it. Put your phones down. Get out there into the world and enjoy life. Breathe the fresh air. It's amazing. Yes, hashtag Cliff for Fan Expo MC. Yeah, get that hashtag trending. Hashtag Cliff for Fan Expo MC. I'm your man with the master plan. It's going to be so amazing. Good night, everybody, and good luck. Or as I love to say at the end of every show, buenos noches y buena suerte. Bye-bye, everybody.